It's true. I'm like, ooh, I got a spoon and a fork. We've got a show, people.
This is the show where we answer your questions, but if it gets too deep, we say don't go there.
Hello! Welcome to another episode of Don't Go There. I'm here with Shaullanda Lacombe. Hey.
Hey.
She is a theme park performer, singer, actress, model, dancer, magician. Awesome. Yeah. When did you realize that you wanted to be a theme park performer? Or a performer, not a theme park performer.
I never realized it. I went because a friend told me to go audition, and I just didn't know it was gonna come out, and I auditioned and ended up getting the gig. And
then this is for the theme park.
Yeah.
In general, when did you realize that you wanted to perform?
Probably when I went to audition for the theme parks. I was in the mortgage business for years, and I went and auditioned very long in the tooth later in life. And friend said, you need to do this. And I was number 197.
Who was that friend?
Squeezed me in. Somebody on the phone from work.
Oh.
I think you'd be great at Disney. And I said, ain't nobody at Disney would like me. This was a long time ago. And so, anyway, I auditioned.
I didn't know her then.
Yeah, way back when.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I sang in the church choir, and I thought, it's a long shot. And ended up auditioning and got in the car, drove off, pulled the little top back on my car, and Russ comes running out, and he's like, wait! Can you sing The Circle of Life? And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I went back in.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait, you got chased down in the parking lot?
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
not a sign of something.
Come back in. I thought, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And I've been hoarse ever since, just so you know.
Oh my gosh. You went to college.
Yeah, I went to school and had nothing to do with this. I auditioned, my first gig in college is I auditioned once for a show called Ain't Misbehavin'. And ironically, my director, Marion J. Caffey, had torn, I think it was his Achilles tendon, and he had torn Achilles heel. He had torn a tendon and it ruptured something in his heel. And I auditioned, and he, the same thing. Can you come back inside? Audition, and then
You left that audition too?
That audition.
Oh my
So he said, come
gosh.
back in here, and I went and auditioned for him, and he had just come back in from New York City, which was amazing to have that kind of caliber of director in community theater. And so he was really hard on our cast, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. So I got the bug, and then I went and got a real job. And the morning I was like, wait a minute, I was performance stuff.
What did you go to college for?
I didn't. I went to community college, and I did 2 years, and I was finishing up there, and then it got pretty serious because I heard about that poop pillow. We won't go there. But it got pretty serious on campus. There
Maybe
was
I should hold it.
Yeah. it wasn't a good thing. Some bad stuff was happening on campus to some of the students. So I had to come home, and I got a job. And after I got the job, I thought, well, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Do you have any embarrassing moments from college?
Yes, when I was doing Ain't Misbehavin', I insisted on not wearing the little tight red dress that Marion made me wear in front of a group of kindergartners. And I was like, I don't like this dress. And all of a sudden, boop! And I was like, okay. And that's when I thought, I don't think I'll ever perform again. But yeah,
Did that happen on stage?
it happened on stage. And you can see him running from the back of the house, going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And he met me in the car, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. When I went back on stage and finished the show. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, you have. You have heard that voice.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So, when did you decide to move to Florida?
I am actually Floridian, and yeah, one of the three of us, me, myself, and I, are from Florida.
I know all three of those.
Pretty well, actually. Yeah, so I've always been from here. This is home. But I was in Gainesville. I was born in Gainesville, and then I spent most of my time here in Central Florida because of work.
So, what was your audition experience like for the parks?
It was great preparation for when I moved to New York, because you constantly have to audition because the shows are updated and there's always something new with special events. So the good thing was that I got used to doing it. So my experience was, when I first moved to Central Florida, there weren't a lot of people that looked like me doing the show.
Right.
So it was fun because I was always doing something new. But I think the repetition probably helped me the most. The repetition, and then just getting into different shows and learning where I fit in,
Right.
which was cool for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are there any shows at the parks that you have done that are now closed?
No.
None. Wow, that's job security.
I did have an experience at one of the parks actually that is no longer an experience. I was hired as like a cheetah girl, cheetah, whatever, like with the fruit on the head and the.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Because I look just like it. Yeah. But,
Yeah, you're white and blue and on a banana.
There you go. None of that. But it was great. They hired me to do it, and I learned a little something different. That's the only experience that I have had that is no longer in existence. All the shows I've done are still running.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
With the exception of one, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. It was there for so long. I did a rock and roll show for years. I originated 2 versions of the show in two different places.
You can talk about that show.
I can talk about that. Yeah, I played the Bride of Frankenstein in the Beetlejuice rock and roll show. Yeah.
Yes.
So I went to Japan because of a good friend of mine suggested that I go and crash this audition. I was kind of feeling sorry for myself one day. George Lucas, can I say his name?
Yes.
So he came to see a show I had done at another park. And our paths crossed, and we ended up having a conversation, and he asked me what I really wanted to do with my life, and I kind of sobered me right up, and I went, I want to have a baby, and I want to do a Broadway show. And he said, do you have a picture and a resume? And I said, no, which I didn't. I didn't have it. So I kind of told him my experience. He said, what are you doing here? You don't have a picture and a resume. And I said, well, Mr. Lucas, I used to process loans. And I literally, I was like, dude, this is my background. And we spent about 45 minutes just talking about life. And he said, what do you really want to do with your life? And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to have a baby, and I want to do a Broadway show of this particular show. I want to do this version of the show. And at the time, it felt impossible. Because it pretty much was. If you knew anything about my history, the handwriting was kind of on the wall that those things would never happen for me. I didn't have the formal training to do the Broadway production of Lion King. And physically, I had reached a certain place in my life where I wasn't going to have a baby, and the doctors kind of said, this isn't going to happen.
Right.
But things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I ended
And
up.
now you have a baby.
I have a baby. And I got to run around the world doing Lion King, and it was cool. But I crashed the audition because of George Lucas. So I'd heard these girls talking, and it was kind of walked up on a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. And it hurt my feelings a little bit because the conversation was about me. But it was very sobering, and it was good information, and I took it to heart. And I went and crashed an audition, and Universal Studios was having an audition in Japan. And so I went and auditioned and booked the job.
Oh my gosh.
Never looked back.
She lived in Japan for
About a year. Yeah, 11 months and 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I played a role that looked exactly like me. I played the Bride of Frankenstein, so it was Bride of two white women with
I see,
blue eyes.
right,
See the
exactly.
resemblance.
That's
It's
right.
closed one eye
Perfect.
and you can't see out the other. That would be me.
Right.
Yep.
Do you have a dream role?
I do. My faith is very important to me. I love film, and I didn't know that. And that came after falling on my face. And for me, a dream role is to be able to develop a character and have the freedom to explore all the places that character can go, and to have a lucrative outcome from it and a physical outcome from it. And that could be playing a butterfly or a mountain. I've learned, again, not to limit, what that looks like.
Right.
So I've decided not to put that on myself, but I do want those opportunities where I can stretch.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite musical?
I wanted to do one show, literally. I'm not your typical musical theater girl. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, every musical theater role known to man. That was not my fight. It just wasn't. I mean, everybody's got their thing. It just wasn't mine. When I saw The Lion King in the theaters, I literally stood to my feet, pointed at the screen and said, I have got to do that. This is when this was a cartoon.
Oh.
And by then,
my God.
my husband, my then brand new husband was like, "Is this
Oh,
But it was like literally. Oh, that's been blah 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 years of Jonathan. Poor guy, because he was like, oh, she's in that place again. But literally, something in me knew that was where I was headed. But life kind of takes you through all that stuff. But I had no clue.
Wow. Craziness.
Now that you've achieved being in that, is there another show that you have seen that you would like to be a part of?
I have a few friends who are doing Hamilton, and it's another one of those shows I was like, wow. I love that it's so clean and it's powerful and it's moving.
Right. Favorite onstage interaction? Do you have an interaction?
People. That's my go-to, and I know that other performers are giving and taking, and there's some brilliance in that. But for me, where I'm freest, where I am the most free, is where I can break through that wall. I remember once at Playhouse Disney, I was on stage, and there was a young man who was sitting, and his father, I hadn't realized, was constraining him. And I went down at the time, I had really long braids, and I ran into the audience. And I ran into the audience.
Now they do it.
Which seems to be happening everywhere now.
Yes.
But at the time, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
But I sat next to this young man who was blind. I didn't know he was blind. I try to read certain things about people and not read into others.
Right.
So I sat with him because I felt pulled towards him. And he grabbed a hold of me and had a hold of my hair. And I could see the angst on his father's face. Meanwhile, I'm delivering lines. I start singing, delivering lines. And I grabbed his father and tried to comfort his dad and let him know I had it. And the young man said, she's beautiful. This young boy who's blind, who's white, by the way. And he's just touching my face and touching my hair. And he started to calm down as he was exploring who and what I was. And I remember having to relax, not exploring.
I know, your hands ended up right here. I was like,
that's the mother of me.
I know, that's the mama.
So I had to calm, it was just really something, I just never forgot that. But him going with his instinct more than intellect, you know what I mean? When I say your visual intellect. It was just, I never forgot that.
Okay, so now we have graduated to the Twitter questions, which are dire to your career. You have to answer all of these correctly.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
We'll just polarize the entire audience.
Well, there's a reason, especially because
I'm highly allergic to cats. I wasn't always. I had a long-haired Persian cat, beautiful cat. If you're old enough to remember the Fancy Feast commercials, I had a cat that looked exactly like that cat. And then someone stole him from my apartment, and ever since then I've been highly allergic to him. I didn't get around cats. And they're like, "Ooh, there she is," and they find me, and I still, it's awful. It's not pretty. And so I love cats, but they don't love me. So
what is something you always wanted to do?
I'm that girl. I got a list of everything.
Pick one.
What have I always wanted to do? I want to produce physical art with people. I would love to have a production company. I love people. If I had the right funding, I'd be a dangerous girl. It's true. I'm like, ooh, I got a spoon and a fork. Like, we've got to show people. It's bad. It's real bad.
Your first celebrity crush?
Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm telling my age. And the audience is going, who's Michael Jackson?
Oh my gosh, she's a legend. What would be the dumbest superpower?
The dumbest?
Yeah.
Wasted energy.
ooh.
Give up coffee or alcohol?
Alcohol. I'm not much of a drinker. It's not pretty. 2 glasses of wine one Christmas in New York City, and it was awful. People were like, let's try another one. It was bad. I was a block away from my house, and my husband was going, we gotta get you home. I don't know if it was from embarrassment or for other reasons, but he was like,
if you were to be arrested, what would it be for?
being obnoxious.
Would you live on the moon?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, she's already in there. Yeah, she's my girl. I love Luna.
Do you have any public social media?
I do. I have a website that Rusty forced me to create. My page is forever growing. You know, and it's. I think it is important that we do that. It's ShaullandaLacombe.com.
Yeah.
And then do you have Instagram? Do you have Twitter? Do you have Snapchat? Do you have...
Yeah.
She done had none of this stuff. We gotta get you set up. And y'all know where to find me. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Musically, all at endsleyellis. Like if you liked, like if you didn't like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and comment what you would like to see next time. And we'll see you later.